In Austin, people are asking, so we just want to give you the meat and potatoes. Energy, goals, commitment, and vision. Energy, goals, commitment, and vision. We're going to talk about each one of these in detail today. Our business, and this is, if this is your first MD meeting, welcome. It's a different club. Congratulations. This is more of like so far it's been like how to run your business, and the interview was phenomenal. As the event keeps going, you're going to start hearing from people that, guys, these are people making $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month. You're hearing Vargas talk, Sapalas. That's life-changing money. It takes so much energy to do that. And this is what people don't have, right? Some people in here have a broken heart. And you had somebody, they're an FA director, somebody, and they quit after you poured so much into them. Anybody had somebody and then you had somebody else that quit, and you poured so much into them. And you had somebody else that signed up, and they're like, man, like how many guys have had this happen? This happened to me twice this year in Austin. God brought me here. God brought me to you. If you right? Both, it's crazy. Both those people quit like the next day, okay? So I'm like, that's a weird thing, man. Like, so when somebody tells me that now, I'm like, 24 hours, this guy's going. Okay? But my point is, you know what happens when people quit? They slowly steal a part of your soul. No, I'm being serious. Not everybody in this room, but for most people in this room, a part of you quit with them. So now you're like, oh, there's this new guy. And guess what you're thinking in the back of your mind?
He's gonna quit.
Let's see how long he's gonna last. So you don't give the fast start everything. You don't give the BOM everything. You don't give the RI everything. You don't give that little interaction in the hallway everything. You stop doing the small things. You don't write a letter to your people. You don't introduce them in front of the next MD. Say, man, let me tell you about this new guy. He just got started yesterday. You don't give him an identity. Because you're like, what's the point of putting all that energy into people if they're going to quit anyways? One of the letters that I wrote, a business partner of mine who's in the room, I said, you got to write the affirmations of the people you want to attract. Because you're upset with the people that you're getting, so you're not giving your very best. It's not that you don't have it in you still. It's that somebody's gotten you to quit on giving your very best to people. And this is why I said, number one, it takes energy. Not because you got to have energy. It takes you being willing to pour belief in a new person again. Next one, goals. You got to have an impossible goal. We'll talk about that. People follow you because they trust you. I think we undervalue the responsibility that we have there. And then lastly, vision. You got to have that. We'll talk about that. Okay, energy. Every interaction requires your best. Every meeting is a big event. We've all heard this. But when you're going to your Monday Milders, when you're going to your Monday base shop accountability, how many times do you walk in your base shop accountability, you're like, morning base shop. All right, ready to do this. Let's go through the numbers. 12 prospects. You said you're going to do 25. You didn't do that. You got to keep your word, Come on, keep your word. Next person. Have you not done that?
Yes.
Have you not done that? I make sure that when I walk in my base shop accountability, that this happens. Turn the switch on. What's up? You guys fired up? Ready? Prospect me. Where are you counting? Prospect me. Go. Come on. Like, we did an hour base shop meeting that day. This was the whole base shop meeting. Base shop accountability. Numbers, great job. You hit it, great job. Okay, go ahead, prospect me. No, prospect me. Okay, prospect me. Okay, prospect me. Tell me what. And then there's like 6 people sitting in front of me, and I'm speaking like I'm speaking right now. Come on. It's a base shop accountability meeting. You don't know that person's quitting that day or that's their breakthrough that day. But we treated that day like it was just about accountability. Guys, people don't come to this business because they want accountability. Accountability is something that we need to include in that. People come here because they want to be sold the dream, sold the vision, sold belief, be encouraged. That's why people come here. But that takes a lot of what? Energy. The first group that needs inspiration, right? We have our schedule goes 8 a.m. MD meeting, 9 a.m. base shop accountability, 10 a.m. general message, and then 11 net VP meetings. So we're 4 meetings back to back on Mondays. When we go in the MD meeting, we had an MD meeting Monday. Did anybody have an MD meeting Monday before coming here?
No.
Majority of people didn't have an MD meeting. A couple of you guys said, good job to you guys. You think it was convenient having an MD meeting on Monday? All right, it wasn't the most convenient because people travel, this, that, the other. If you were in the Austin MD meeting on Monday, what was the energy the moment we walked in? What, Bruno, what was it? It was from the get-go. Guys, let me tell you why we got the edge today. And they're like, what is he on? By the way, I went to bed at 5:30 on Monday, our full-timers meeting. I got to the office by 7:40. So I'm not saying that to impress you guys. That's not what I do all the time. That's not sustainable whatsoever. What I'm saying is I'm going to go in there with the best energy no matter what, because those are my guys that trust me, follow me, respect me. I respect them. I appreciate them. I'm grateful for them. They've changed my family's life. I owe them that meeting. So guess what we're doing leaving that meeting? We're already, how many guys have a strategy on what you're doing when you get back next week? Okay, good. Some of you guys do, some of you guys don't. If you don't, you got to figure that out tonight. I'll tell you our strategy. On Tuesday night, we're talking about captain system and promoting captain system like nobody's ever promoted captain system. On Saturday, we're having a super BOM somewhere in Austin, I don't know where, but we're gonna have 1,000 guests. I'm just telling you right now, you're gonna see it. We're gonna have 1,000 guests because there's never been a BOM with 1,000 guests. How are you gonna do that? 300 people inviting 10 people is what? 3,000, 30% show up, it's 1,000, 300 guests. And then what I wanna do is I wanna sell those guests on all 100 that get started, all testing one day. So I wanna be able to send a message to you guys saying, hey, guess what guys, Pat, we got 100 people licensed today. Oh, did you bring a leader over from another company? No. Well, how'd you do 100? We just did a strategy that we were gonna capitalize leaving here. Guys, this takes what? Energy and you what? Planning. We have a meeting, we're announcing our kickoff, okay? We're announcing our kickoff. Everybody's announcing their kickoff in their breakout meetings, right? Our kickoff is gonna be similar to PHP's thing. You guys will see what it's called. We went to DC last week with all our VPs, emergency flight, come to DC. What are we going to DC for? We gotta film videos. So we filmed this whole promotional video that's gonna be shown to our hierarchy in our meeting, our breakout meeting. And then we filmed a 9-1 video, a 10-1 video, an 11-1 video, a 12-1 video. We looked at everything that was on the calendar over the next season, and then a 2024 first New Year's, welcome to New Year's video already filmed. Those videos are all shot for next year. This is called what? Energy. This is called You Get Excited. We did a campaign video. Man, I've been in the business 18 years, but guess what? My new director, associate FA, has been in the business 18 weeks. 8 weeks, 3 weeks. Guess what they want to be a part of? Something big. So we go through a whole video. That's energy, that's creativity. By the way, it's not about me bragging. Zero do I care to impress anybody here today. I want you to recommit your energy to being the brand new guy. You, by the way, the MD, you know what I did with Oak before right now? Nobody knows it. I got the culture book. What did we do, Oak? We went through every single one of you in this room and we said, you think they're being here 5 years from now? You think he's a killer? You think the best is behind him? You think they're a killer? All of you guys. We just ranked all you guys. And you know what's crazy? We're gonna find out who really is. I'm a killer. Good. You should feel that way. Schedule. Every meeting promotes the next meeting. We're competing every Monday morning in accountability meeting. Our accountability meeting, how many people do you think show up in Austin, guys? 80? Okay, 80 on a Monday, right? That's the day that kicks off the week. That's the most important meeting if you got FA's directors to get them there Monday morning. But you gotta have the conversation. So guess what we're doing on Sunday night? Calling them, confirming them, getting them there Monday. Do you think people want to do that on a Sunday night? But that's the difference. We're condensing time frames, but that takes what? Energy. Monday phone zone. Right now the record in the office is Bruno's 27 and I'm at 22, I think. He holds the record right now. We had 104 people at the last phone zone. We track every phone zone, number of calls, number of appointments booked, highest associate count, we track it all. That takes what? Energy. Coffee and coaching, we got this from Sapala. Guess what we do on coffee and coaching? How many got on? How many got on? How many got on? We got 42 on. How many you got on? So we have 300 people on a normal week, every single week on coffee and coaching. Our next is 400. We're gonna get that to 1,000 people every Wednesday having coffee together, right? That takes what? Energy. Some of you guys are tired right now because this message, you're like, well, that's a lot. It's only a lot because you don't know what you want. Okay, goals. Do you know what you want? Okay, do you know what you want? Are you lying to yourself about what it's gonna cost? Are you afraid of the commitment or disappointment that comes with building? So we decided we're gonna move to Austin. Guess what I know when I'm gonna move to Austin? I gotta start over from the beginning. I gotta start over, because nobody cares who you are, you're starting over, you're in a new city, we don't know anybody. So it's like, dude, are you willing to start over again? And guess, do you know how many times over the years we've had to restart over? The leaders here that are winning, they just restarted more than you. Some of you guys need a restart, and nobody's gonna do it for you, nobody can. It's your decision at this point. I remember something Marvin told me one day. He says, the next things you're gonna learn in life are not just in a book, but they're inside of you. But are you willing to read yourself? Are you willing to really know yourself? See, this is the stuff you know that you don't tell anybody, but you're a little lazy. You're a little casual. You don't want to build. You're not willing to give that energy. You don't pour belief. You don't give identity anymore because your heart's broken. You don't want to recruit because you're like, oh, well, look at what they're going to do again. This takes energy. Next one. At one point, do you want to know what the very best version of you looks like? See, for most people, they're just taking notes. Some are not even taking notes. I don't care if you take notes or you don't take notes. You're not going to look back at this video. You're not going to remember anything that I said right now. This is really what it comes down to. What version of you, how much better are you going to get, and when? When? Like, when are you going to get to the best version of you? Do you want to meet that version? I want to meet that version. Do you want to be able to say that you gave everything for a season, 1,000% all in, no excuses? If your best guy duplicated the current version of you, who would they be? If you don't like it, change it. Your team will always try to duplicate what you did. All of us, you always hear say, man, back in Northridge, back in Northridge, back in Northridge. Guess what I want them to say? Man, back in Austin, this is what we did. We moved into an 11,000 square foot office. There's 27 offices, okay? With 10 people who were committed to moving. Those 10 people said, hey, we're moving, cool. First meeting, we had 7 people there. Not everybody had moved yet. We're recruiting people and we're walking them through a ghost town because this office is so big. Every office is empty. We have nothing there, nobody there, but we're selling them a vision of where we're gonna go. This is our first meeting here, okay? First meeting here. And we got, who's your MD that's in California? Is Travis? Travis, is he here? Okay, so that's an NCL. She's gonna hit MD. I think Ricky sent us an NCL. Ricky sent us, where's Ricky? Yeah, Jose and Marisol, they're gonna hit MD. Who else sent us an MCL? Alejandro sent an NCL. Eliseo and Melanie, they're gonna hit MD. I think, Oak, you got an NCL through Eatman's, right? The guy that looks just like Eatman, right? He's about to hit MD, and his exchange late's about to hit MD. Cindy got an NCL from Jennifer, right? Jen's from who? From Monica, right? So we're grateful, by the way, for the people that you send to us. We're gonna do our best for them, guys. We really are grateful for it. Okay, so this is our next meeting, 12/31/22. This year's New Year's Eve. Because guess when you start teaching your people not to make excuses? From the beginning. And if you're like, man, but I've screwed that up so many times already. Your brand new person has no idea what your old standards were. The only place that they are is like, you know, like you did it. So you got to change that. 17 people and 2, okay? Let me show you something. 110-23, growing. 125, this is our pre-grand opening. We have 51 people, there's 67 guests, okay? This is our first fast start school. Then there's a freeze, right? So everybody's like, oh my God, there's a freeze. You can't get to a building. What are you talking about? You can't get to the building. Tree's broken, the door doesn't open. I'm like, we're doing training at my house. Everybody come here. Cindy's like, are you sure you want everybody to know where you guys live? I was like, you're right, we have some new weird recruits. but what are we gonna do? So this is a real conversation. Are you, yeah, let's just bring them. So no excuses. Our circle starts growing. You know, our circle was so weird because it would be like this massive circle with like 4 of us spread out. Then it starts growing. Then we start doing a brochure. Highly recommend this. The book, the playbook says, give marketing material to every one of your guests. So we created a brochure that has the office information. We have Matt and Sheena, BOM on there. We have what we offer, the carriers, and on the back is this QR code that they scan. We created a MD wall, all right, with pictures of all the different marketing directors, building a culture. 4-1, BOM starting to fill up. 4-17, I'm driving to the office that day. This is a switch. I want to share this with you. I'm driving to the office that day. I don't feel like going to the office that day. I'm not fired up. I'm not, just like you. Monday, you ever woken up on a Monday, you're tired, you didn't prepare, you're not fired up, you didn't sit out your clothes, you didn't get the workout in, you're tired. And you're like, dude, I don't, man. And if you're not open enough to say this, you're full of shit. Excuse the language. You are. Because you're human. And if it wasn't, everybody, man, we'd have so many more people in this room if we weren't. People would be making more money. All this stuff would happen. So you don't have a knowledge problem. You have an energy problem. You don't have enough. No. You have a we. By the way, we do. So I'm sitting there, and I'm driving the office. I'm like, dude, I need inspiration right now. Normally when I do that, I'll go look at Pat's videos, I'll go look at Valuetainment, PBD Podcast, I'm pulling videos up, and I pull up a video by Art, and at minute 13, he says this, you gotta have an impossible goal. I hear that. Play that back. You gotta have an impossible goal. Man, play that back. You gotta have an impossible goal. You gotta have an impossible goal. Man, we beat them, and we beat them, and we beat them. Our best guy was bigger than all of them. You gotta have an impossible goal. I'm sitting there and I'm saying, man, I'm getting fired up and pissed off at myself. You little small thinker. You gotta have an impossible goal. Rewind. 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 You gotta have an impossible. Guys, I listened to this 100 times. I show up that meeting, I'm fired up and pissed off at myself. You know why? Because I don't have an impossible goal. I don't have an impossible goal. I want to make money. I want to build a business. I want to build a hierarchy. I want a great office. But man, I'm not like all 100%. I mean, we're doing good. We're growing. But I don't have an impossible goal. You know right now that some of you right now, there's so much fear inside of you right now, and I relate to you, I understand. I've come to meetings, guys, with so much fear inside my spirit because I wasn't committed. And by the way, can I get called out in 1,000 different ways right now? 100%. Because we got to get so much better in so many things that we're doing right now. But you know what, man? At least I'm committed right now, and I'm giving my very best. So that fear is not there. You don't want to allow fear to live inside of you. Some of you guys are doing that. And like Pat said, you know, you try to fake it, and you try to cover it up with your looks and your attire and your confidence, and, hey, good morning, yeah, good to see you, yeah. You're full of shit. You know you're full of it. No, you're full of it. And by the way, you're full of fear too, because you know you haven't given your best for a very long time. It's an uncomfortable conversation right now. You can lie to everybody in this world, guys, but you can't lie to yourself. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, we need an impossible goal, guys. We didn't come here to do this. We didn't come here for 200 people. We didn't do this. I didn't do this for 18 years to just do this. Just make $1 million, $2 million. That's 18 years of my life. I don't get that back. I'm grateful. Changed my life working with Pat. Changed my son's life. I'm at the next BC. I'm looking at Pat. I'm getting emotional because I'm like, man, Pat, I just want to have a friendship with you so that my son has access to a man like you. Because I want him to have access to people like you. I want my son to have like, hey, Uncle Pat. That's important to me. Hey, Uncle Matt. Hey. Dude, you can't raise a great man by himself. You need other great men. So I'm like, dude, guys, we need a possible goal. And you know what? Pat gave us one. But so many of us use it to sell at a BOM, but we haven't bought into it ourselves. And you know how I know that? Because our actions don't show that. So I'm like, guys, we're doing this, so we draw this on the board, and I say, man, what if we just grow 10% per week? You should do this. What if we just grow 10% per week, every single week in associate count? What if we do this, guys? Where will we be? And the number came out to 589, and we fell short, by the way. We were 14 weeks, and we did 440, but we would have never done 440 if we didn't set an impossible goal. If I ask your office, your organization, your base shop, your team right now, what's your impossible goal? Do they know it? Does your office know it? Yeah, guys, what day, Austin, what day are we hitting 750 recruits? What day? What? 10:30. They know it. The reason we got that extra 14,000 square feet is because we have a real vision to put 1,000 people in a room, and every single week, 1,000 people. You walk into a room with 1,000 people, like, what the hell is going on here? Why not? You think that's a big deal? You think that's a big deal? I want that. I'm gonna be able to say, hey, everybody chip in $100. This month we're bringing Denzel. It's not a super BOM, it's not a big event. It's just a normal weekly BOM at our conference center that fits 1,000 people. January of this year, we're going office shopping with my guys. And we're gonna say, which building do you want to buy? Let's go build something big if we're gonna give our life to this. So some of us, don't get excited for me, don't clap. What's yours? What's yours? Goals. They need to be repeated in every hunt. What was our hunt in Austin? Whoa! No, what was our old hunt? You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh! Hunt! 400, 400, 400, boom! What's our goal now? Now we did 1,000, we're bragging it to 750, not because we're not gonna hit 1,000, but that's our next hunt. What's your goal? How are you selling it? How many different ways are you promoting it? Let me show you this. So we say we're gonna hit 400. We're gonna do a party, bouncers, donkeys for the kids, DJ, massage, we're gonna do this, barbecue. We didn't hit it, by the way, at that time. We said we're gonna do non-MD. Non-MD, you get to 5 people, you get a copy of your next 5 moves. How many non-MDs in your base right now have 5 people coming to meetings? Is there any recognition system if they do? 10, you get a builder shirt. 15, you get Maxwell's books. 20, we're going to dinner. 25, 500 bucks, 2 consecutive meetings, 500 bucks, and you get a builder shirt. Are you recognizing attendance? MD, 10, builder shirt. 15, leadership lunch with their leaders. Associate count 25, 30, John Maxwell. Bruno, if you can come up real quick, Bruno. 30, John Maxwell. 40, Bruno was the first MD to have 40, okay? And you know what I love? Bruno came to Austin 7 months ago, he didn't know anybody. We put a competition, first to 50. The first person to 50 was gonna be $1,000. Bruno, how many did you have when Pat came, brother? 76 associates.
Come on, baby.
He moved in January, he didn't know anybody. He moved in January, he didn't know anybody. He moved in January, he didn't know anybody. Do you know what happens to this convention if we leave here in the next 6 months? Everybody goes out there and gets a 50, 60, 70, 100 come to meetings. This company changes permanently. So we did a jacket. This is the first one we're giving. I wanted to give it to you in the MD meeting. I have a lot of respect for you, brother. Building jacket to Bruno Castillo. It's $1 million earner. By next year, December, that man will make $1 million. Okay? First person to 400. First person to 400, custom bat. We ordered these here from a museum that Pat took us to, Louisville Slugger. These are coming in the mail for them. See, there was a campaign. There was a campaign. I want to show you this quickly. That's what the office looked like when Pat came. It looked like a church. Okay? These flyers, guys, can I see this real quick? This flyer, it's underneath this right here. Yeah. We printed these for the office. We printed these for the office, guys. And we put them everywhere. We put them everywhere. You see that? And then after we hit it, we printed them all, signed them with the picture, and gave them to everybody that was at that BOM. See, your office wants something to fight for, guys. Your people want a goal. Okay, we already talked about this, competing office culture. Okay, look at this right here. Have you bought into Captain System? Okay? We've had 1,689 guests attend our office in the last 7 months. This is not special, by the way. We had 2 things. We need to beat our associate count every BOM. And then from there, we say we got to start getting to 50% because that's what Pat challenged us to do, and we want to be coachable. God gets all the glory, Pat's example, associate count, guess, and beat your prior best. I said this earlier when Pat spoke, so this is just an example of it, level 4 GEB. These are the ratios. 1 direct equals 3 people in your base shop, averaging 1 to 2,000 points. This is how you make $1 million a year. If you can commit to anything, guys, we expanded the fish tank. We will have 5 to 7 people making $1 million by next year. They will teach their 5 to 7, and within 2 years or so, 2.5 years, we'll have $25 to $35 million earners in Unity. I've never been more excited, and it's just the beginning. Thank you, everybody.